Thanks for joining us tonight. It's called Mississippi's Giant House Party, but it's also ground zero for Mississippi politics for a week. The pavilion at the Neshoba County Fair has been playing host to office seekers, and today was the main event. Courtney Ann Jackson has more.
The Neshoba County Fair is somewhat of a crash course in Mississippi politics. Today's lesson, the gubernatorial race. Most of the speeches follow the same bullet points you've likely seen in ads and push cards ahead of Election Day, but there are usually a few jabs and surprises mixed in. Republican Bill Waller took the opportunity to announce a new plan for improving the state's highways.
A highway system for the future.
Professionals decide based on needs, on population, and no politics. We're going to do it based on need.
Robert Foster says he's not focused on the recent poll numbers, putting him in third place in the Republican race.
We've seen a lot of internal polling that shows a completely different scenario. I think this race is going to be one of those races that's going to be very unpredictable, and it's going to be a very big surprise for some people on August the 6th.
Tate Reeves drove home that he's the only candidate opposed to both raising the gas tax and expanding Medicaid, and he used what's becoming a repeat phrase to describe why he's talking more about Hood than his GOP opponents.
Political enemy is the liberal policy ideas of the party of Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi and Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton and Jim Hood.
Jim Hood cautioned the crowd to watch out for that partisan labeling and noted that he's prepared to work with a conservative legislature.
No crazy laws or liberal stuff is going to get passed in that legislature. So you ask them, you know, what are you talking about, liberal and all the Washington stuff? I mean, that's got nothing to do with what will happen here in Mississippi and what that legislature will pass and what I'll sign as governor.
And one of Hood's primary challengers, Robert Schuler Smith, saying he's not calling anyone the front runner yet.
I've spoken to the people, and the people are very excited that they have a choice.
The primary is next Tuesday, August 6th. Courtney Ann Jackson, WCBI News.
With Jim Hood in the governor's race, the Attorney General's office is wide open and there's no shortage of candidates. Ashley Fortenberry from our news partner WTOK catches up with them.
I'm here at the Neshoba County Fair where political speaking took center stage Thursday. Now we heard from several candidates, including 4 who are running to be the next Attorney General of Mississippi.
Supporters packed into the pavilion to hear from Andy Taggart, Mark Baker, Lynn Fitch, and Jennifer Collins. Each candidate spoke to just how important the office of Attorney General truly is.
I've been crisscrossing this state up and down and back and forth for the last 5 months just as hard as I could go. The main thing I'd like for people to know is I believe the office of Attorney General is the toughest job in state government.
This is a very complex office. There's not just one thing. It's always about how we work together. It's always how we make positive strides. What do we do when we see the challenges? How do we create the solutions for them?
This election is coming down to very distinct issues, very distinct personalities, and very distinct ideas as to the direction for the office.
Yes, I am dedicated to be the Attorney General for all Mississippians, not a segment of Mississippians, but all Mississippians, to uphold the law so that all Mississippians thrive and not just survive.
Now all 4 candidates say they are grateful for all the support. Reporting from the Neshoba County Fair, Ashley Fortenberry.
Time now to get a first look at our forecast. We'll send things over to Chief Meteorologist Keith Gibson. Hey there, Keith.
It's got a pretty nice evening out there. A time lapse from downtown Columbus. You can see this outflow boundary right there, kicking up some clouds. We had some showers here in the West Alabama. Some of those tried to scoot on in the eastern Mississippi, and what we did have has gone by the wayside. Just some ground clutter here. So debris clouds, mostly clear skies right now. You name it, we have quiet conditions across our region with temperatures now cooling down into the 70s. So it's a warm evening out there. I still suspect many of us will dip into the upper 60s briefly tonight. Low 70s at 7 o'clock. By noon, 88, 92. The forecast high tomorrow. Just a slight chance for a storm. I'm back with your weekend forecast coming up.
A Monroe County grand jury hands down indictments in 2 shooting deaths from earlier in the year. 46-year-old Ellen Hubner will stand trial for allegedly killing her husband, Stephen Hubner. His body was found March 1st in the backyard of the couple's home on Buck Road in Monroe County. He had been reported missing by co-workers at Columbus Air Force Base. Preliminary autopsy results showed Stephen Hubner was shot several times. The second murder indictment stems from an April shooting death in Aberdeen. Lillian Kaysen is accused of killing Mosley Daniels. The shooting happened after Kaysen and Daniels argued over a repossessed van. Statements say Kaysen told the car lot holding the loan where it was hidden so the dealer could repossess the van. Daniels and Kaysen clashed over that claim, and Kaysen is accused of shooting him. Some members of the EMCC Board of Trustees say the school is losing money. A budget has been approved for 2020, but getting there was no easy task. Lowndes County supervisors and some EMCC trustees say it boils down to the school's football program. Others close to the program say it's a lack of state funding. Tells quite the story. A financial report released from EMCC President Scott Alsobrooks shows the salary increases for the school's sports programs. Shown in the light blue are the football salaries, the only program exceeding $500,000.
The football coach gets his package for salary and benefits is more than any other community college in the state, possibly more than any other community college in the country.
Records show Buddy Stevens made $120,000 in 2018. The controversy is half of EMCC's trustees want to cut funds from the football program. The other half doesn't.
Some board members from the south part of the district think that the football program is more important than the education of our students in the university and training people to be able to enter the workforce.
In an effort to fill the gap, the school has pulled money from its general fund. In 2010, that fund held $11 million. In 2018, it dropped significantly, down to $710,000. Oktibbeha County EMCC trustee Rudy Johnson says millions have been cut from other programs.
We've cut over $2 million out of salaries. We've laid off instructors, and we've done all of that stuff to try to cut our budget, but football never got cut.
In the 2020 budget, EMCC President Scott Alsobrooks says the athletic budget has been cut among other programs.
We've had to make some tough cuts. Administration's been cut more heavily than any other area at the school. Athletics has been cut as well.
It's not all related to football. There's multiple areas that that money has been going. There's been some new programs that have been starting up, and they cost money, as well as in preparation for the community. So that's what we're trying to look at right now, is with all of these different activities pulling for funds, where is the best return on that investment for those funds?
EMCC's football program gained national attention after being featured on Netflix's series Last Chance U. It's a program that remains popular among alums and the scuba campus.
Football is the EMCC's passionate about the football. They have a lot of reason to be with the success.
But Rudy Johnson says that recognition isn't helping generate any revenue or bringing in any students.
You know, our national football championships hadn't brought one student in. If you look at our enrollment has declined since we won our first national championship.
The budget crisis weighs heavy on county supervisors. Lowndes County is just one of 6 counties that invests in EMCC. Johnson says he believes it's time to get back to the school's vision.
We're here to educate, train, and get these kids jobs. That's our mission. That's what we're supposed to do.
WCBI has contacted 10 of the 12 board members, including at least one in each county represented. Most of them referred to us to spokesperson Kathy Diaz, who said this: Dr. Alsobrooks and his staff have worked out the best budget we can for this year in trying times. We're going to do the very best we can with the money that we have.
Our Alpha Insurance camera here in downtown Tupelo today, catching those distant showers and storms in Alabama fading away this evening. Now, as we look ahead, no big changes really. Warm and humid, scattered weekend storms. We'll talk about it in detail next.
WCBI First Alert AccuWeather Forecast with Chief Meteorologist Keith Gibson.
Some pretty nice color in the sky tonight with the setting sun. Also the nice farm fields right there here in Lowndes County. I think that was out near Caledonia. A great sunset over in the West Alabama too. There goes the sun. Some friendly clouds going away. And also in Lamar County too, you can see the setting sun there over the field. Not too bad here on our Thursday. Now briefly down into the 60s tonight. I think generally mainly clear for the rest of tonight with calm wind. And for tomorrow and beyond, we're looking at some nice weather. Here's our time lapse from from Louisville, you can see the setting sun there too, some of those friendly clouds. So the showers and storms we had really falling away, just some ground clutter there on radar at the current time. And typical for this time of year, we'll pop a lot of activity up during the afternoon. That goes away during the evening. The greatest concentration of activity just off to our southeast today. Your Saturday, a few storms possible, 91. So looking ahead at the weekend, 87 on Sunday. More numerous storms are possible around the region. Now, having said that, some of you may not even see a storm, but some of you could get soaked with several storms. So we'll just see how it shakes out as we go throughout the next few days. We've got temperatures ranging from the low 70s to the upper 70s here across Mississippi and Alabama tonight. The warm spot in Gulfport right now, 80 degrees. Briefly down into the upper 60s in Columbus, likely back into the low 90s tomorrow afternoon. Same story in the Tupelo area too, a shot at some low 60s tonight. Low 90s likely tomorrow, with the heat index maybe in the mid to upper 90s again, much like they were today. So very typical for this time of year. Our average right now about 92, 93, and that's about the ballpark we will be in for our day Friday as we close out this work week. The best chance for a stray storm tomorrow, likely south and east of Columbus, more so in the Alabama, much like today. Now, we'll have a better chance of more scattered activity around our area here, farther to the northwest on Saturday. That would include the entire area, and that's just going to be random here. So you may get a storm, you may not, but better coverage, I think, as we get into your Sunday. There's a little disturbance out there in the Atlantic. It could develop over the next couple of days. It does not look like that's going to be any impact on the Gulf of Mexico. And there's Eric, there's Flossie out there in the Pacific, maybe giving a brush by of the Hawaiian Islands here shortly. Here's your AccuWeather 7-day forecast. We've got 92 tomorrow, 91 on Saturday, 87 Sunday, upper 80s to low 90s next week. Daily chances for some showers and storms here. I think the highest odds will come on Sunday, Scott. Lows around 70.
Some area students are taking a more spiritual approach as they head back to school. We take a look when we come back. Welcome back, everyone. For most people, the best way to battle summer bugs is with insect repellent. But many people, especially children, are sensitive to some of those chemicals. In tonight's Health Talk with Baptist, we look at some alternatives.
Besides using insect repellent containing DEET, what are some other ways to protect your child from insect bites? Picardia can be used as an alternative and is available in concentrations of 5 and 10%, which can protect 3 to 8 hours. Permethrin can be applied to clothes but not skin. This chemical will last in clothing after washes. You may want to try repellent made from natural ingredients in place of a commercial product that contains man-made chemicals to protect your child against mosquitoes, biting flies, and ticks. Just be sure to read the label first to make sure that it is safe to use on children. Keep in mind that natural repellents generally don't last as long as chemical repellents. Some of them need to be reapplied every 20 minutes or so, while some last a couple hours. Here are some other ways to protect your child from insects. Dress your child in light-colored clothing that covers as much of the skin as possible to help protect him from insects that bite or sting. Avoid bright or dark colors or flowery prints. Don't use scented soaps or lotions, as fragrance attracts some bugs. Avoid insect hangouts such as stagnant water, flower gardens, and uncovered food. You might want to use mosquito netting over your child's infant seat, backpack, or stroller when you have him outdoors during the bug season. Perform a skin survey. Check your child's skin after playing outdoors at the end of the day. Join us next time for Health Talk with Baptist.
Mail your topic suggestions to healthtalk@wcbi.com. Health Talk has been brought to you by Baptist Memorial Hospital Golden Triangle.
We all need a little help getting in the groove to school, or getting back in the groove for school, that is. Tonight in West Point, they were calling on a higher power. The Third Mount Olive Baptist Church in West Point has been hosting a back-to-school revival and rally. There were performances and speakers. Children also got free school supplies to start the new school year.
We just get them motivated and ready for school. School is about to start around the corner, so we want them excited and about school, because education is the key.
Praising Jesus and having fun. Looks like fun there. Pastor Comey says all the leftover school supplies will be handed out on Sunday after church. Well, fresh off another division title, Winona Christian is hungry for more championships. The Stars are up next on the tour. See the preview next in sports.
WCBI Sports with Tom Emmel.
Academy Week continues on the high school football tour, checking in with the Winona Christian Stars. The winning ways continued for the Stars in 2018, taking home another division crown, but the Stars hope for more in 2019.
WCBI's 60 Schools in 60 Days is brought to you by Sparklight.
Winona Christian enters the season with a new bunch that's eager to prove themselves. With a lack of depth, the Stars will depend on their physicality this season.
The team's extremely strong. Physically, it's going to be one of the stronger teams that I've fielded since I've been coaching. We don't have a lot of depth, but we're going to have to play a lot of old school Ironman football at times, and kids are going to ask to come off the field, and we're just going to look the other way, I guess.
We still got a little bit to work on. We're getting there, and we really have to step up during games and everything. With us being, limited players and stuff, we really have to push everybody and get them ready for the games.
The Stars graduated last year's starting quarterback, which means some new faces will be under center.
Anytime you have to play a young kid out there, you can expect good things to happen and bad things to happen. It's all going to be how he handles the bad. But we're going to play multiple people at quarterback. We're going to have a young one, and we're going to play an athlete and Dalton Wiggins at quarterback some. And so as far as it's going to give us a couple of different options at the quarterback position.
The team enters the season confident in how the young guys will perform in their new roles.
All the younger ones are just coming up, just now learning, and we're trying to show them this and that and this, and we're just trying to be the best leaders we can and go from there.
We got some big shoes to fill, and I think that the young guys stepping up and they can do it, and I think we're going to be real close this year. We've just been trying to hang out as groups, just outside of football and all that kind of stuff, just trying to get close, and so when we get out there on the field, we can be on a dime with everybody, just knowing what each other's trying to do.
Winona Christian welcomes some new teams in their division that makes for stiff competition, but the Stars relish in the opportunity.
Our division is going to be extremely tough, and likes of Indianola, Carroll, Central Holmes is going to be a special ball club. Benton's a solid, well-coached football team, so our division is going to be extremely tough.
We got to live up to expectation. We got to fill in the gaps. That's a big deal district for us. It gives us a high seed in the playoffs. And we're going to do what we can do to get those wins. Those are big deals to us.
Reporting in Winona on the high school football tour, Chris Bolton, WCBI Sports.
60 Schools in 60 Days with Winona Christian was brought to you by Bank of Kilmichael.
Just 2 more stops left on Academy Week. Columbus Christian coming up tomorrow. And then Saturday, we check in with Victory Christian before we jump into 2A ball with East Webster on Sunday and Eupora coming up on Monday. If you've missed any of the stops up to this point, go to our website, WCBI.com, or to our social media accounts on Twitter and Facebook at WCBI Endzone. 30 days away from the first college football Saturday of 2019. The Rebels begin training camp on Friday, as well as everyone in college football. A lot of the new faces will be filling in for the loss of talent, mainly on the offensive side of the ball for the Rebels. New starting quarterback Matt Corral and company say gaining chemistry will be a one-day-at-a-time process.
We're putting in the extra work, putting in the overtimes in the film room, just building that chemistry, off the field and on the field, especially. Getting timing of the routes, and I feel like if we're on the same page, I feel like we can be unstoppable.
So really, I think it comes down to us on the offensive line. I think, it's our job. We got to carry this team, and we got the talent everywhere else, so we got to bring it up front to make sure we can show off what they can do.
The ceiling is as high as we want it to go, Whatever we put a ceiling cap on ourselves is, the ceiling for us. So we can't allow ourselves to do that, so we just got to continue to get better each and every day.
Former Pontotoc standout and LSU Tiger Cole Smith is transferring to Mississippi State. Gene's Page's Steve Robertson was the first to report. Smith played 12 snaps as a freshman for the Tigers in 2018 and will be ineligible to play for the Bulldogs in 2019, but will play in 2020. The former Under Armour All-American entered the transfer portal back in June. That's it for sports. The last look at your forecast is next.
Area artists are on display this week. 18 artists are featured at an exhibit hosted by the Friends of the Library in Choctaw County. Several styles and media are on display. Organizers say that the event is a way for artists to showcase themselves.
As an artist, you are, it's a very personal thing to display your art. And so we are thrilled that these artists are willing to come and share their knowledge, because the artist will be in the room and be able to answer questions.
Now, the gallery, if you want to go check it out, will be open until Monday at 5 in the afternoon.
All right, 92 tomorrow, a slight chance for a storm, a better opportunity for a storm Saturday. Probably the best chance here in the near term will be Sunday, but that doesn't mean the weekend's going to be a washout. Much like we've had recently, there'll be some scattered storms around.
We're just in that summertime pattern. Here we go. All right, thanks, Keith. Thanks for watching, everyone. Have a good night. We'll see you tomorrow.